Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Bristol United Botcast, the promotion special podcast. My name is James and today, once again, I am joined by first team manager John Gilborson. John, how are you, mate?
I'm not too bad, James. Thank you very much. And as you can imagine, in a good place at the moment.
Very happy. Well, and being in a good place leads us nicely on to our first question. It might be a promotion special, but I still got to ask. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you?
About a 52, to be honest with you. Of course, maximum 10 out of 10. We've had some great news, great end to the season. Absolutely buzzing.
Happy days, mate. Happy days. So, if anybody's listening that doesn't know, which is highly unlikely, then it's been confirmed that Bristol United have been promoted and will be playing in the Bristol and District Division 3 next season.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't want to repeat the same question, but obviously you're buzzing for it all, and I expect all the lads are happy as well.
Yeah, it's, as you know, James, it's been a long season. Started early with pre-season and a lot of work, and we've sort of fancied our chances this year. And then the highs and lows of football, which is the beauty of it. But we had an incredible low to start with, winning one out of the first 6-7 games in bottom of the league, and everything's coming to an end and the world's going to end. And that's how it feels to sort of coming through an incredible run. And then here we are today with promotion. So it's certainly been a roller coaster of a season.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sort of consistency throughout the season, like you said, maybe it wasn't there at the start of the season, but since sort of Christmas, I was going to say after Christmas, but obviously there are a lot of games were called off because of the weather. But
yeah,
since the game's been back on, it's been the lads have been focused, haven't they? And it's been.
Yeah, it's it started just prior to Christmas where and I think we may have even covered this where, like I said, it was a disastrous start, and the form is you're actually going to be relegated, let alone sort of promoted.
Yeah.
And some like honest conversations was had with the whole club, really. And it's not like always just as me talking to the players. It's people talking together. What's gone wrong? What do we need to do? And we had like what we called a bit of a reset, and really went back to basics. And I can remember one of my team talks was, look, don't worry about winning games anymore. Worry about how we're going to play.
Yeah.
And I think it was, as I've said many of a time, young players gaining experience by the bucket load as we go by, but still not at that levels. And I think that pressure of starting the season is what we felt promotion, or certainly one of the favourites for promotion. And it was probably just a little bit too much at that time in taking the pressure off, going back to basics. And then, like you said, you find pick a few victories up, morale starts to lift, confidence comes back, and then we sort of went on an incredible winning run, a bit of an undefeated run in the end because we picked up a couple of draws, but and it moved us right back into the promotion places. And I mean, I've never doubted the ability of any of the players, that they're good enough. It's just sometimes making the players believe that, and there's nothing helps that more than winning games. And the more you win, the more they believe, the more confidence they get, the more relaxed they are, and it's just snowballed in the right way. And it's a sort of incredible character from my players, because it's something I don't sort of talk about too much, is character, because they've not always had it because they're younger and some sort of inexperienced, but they've shown incredible character in the last 3 or 4 months of the season and picked up some vital wins when needed, and all credit to them.
Yeah, because I obviously anybody that watches the On the Ball episodes on YouTube, which I would imagine most of the people listening to this do watch them. There was a game the other week. I can't remember what game it was off the top of my head, but in the changing room after, you sort of challenged them. You challenged them to a certain extent, and you said that you're going on a journey with the club. If they want to come with you, then that's good. And if they don't, then that's also fine with you as well, you know. But I think it's probably shown that the last couple of months that they do want to go on that journey with you. and I think the journey will continue next season in Division 3, and it's going to be another set of challenges for everybody involved at the club to face next season.
Yeah, and you're right, and sort of referring back to that, because like I said, it is a manager. It's more than just picking a formation or picking the best player at right back or centre forward. There's a lot more goes into it than I think people realise. Is you're dealing with human beings who's in all different walks of life, different sort of learning curves of their lives. And it's not just easy to sort of say, well, it's football, we need to do this or we need to do that.
Yeah.
You're dealing with people and everybody's different. And I've been very protective of individuals and the whole team really at times. And that day, it was a sort of combination of picking the right time to start sort of morphing out of that, where I can't protect them forever. Like, you're only going to say they're young and inexperienced so many times. At some point they're getting older and gaining that experience, and then it's just finding the right time to start switching from that real protection mode to actually, like you said, challenging them now, because I'm not used to sort of not winning or not doing things well. And that was the day, and sort of felt the right time for me to be honest with people, to say, look, now we're sort of at a bit of a crossroads now. We're sort of 2 seasons in. We need more, and you got more. I wouldn't never ask anybody to give me what they can, and I know the players inside out, and I know they can give more. And then, I mean, luckily it could have backfired spectacularly, but like I said, the players responded in the right way of actually now, yeah, we have got to face up to reality. Is there's pressures on, and we need to win. Like, it's just not that simple to go out and enjoy it. We're in it to win it. So, yeah, and
it's a fine balance, isn't it, between enjoying, because obviously you've got to enjoy it, because otherwise you wouldn't do it if you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah,
But
and it's
the bottom line is football's a results business, isn't it?
well, it is, and like for my players now, like they're going through, and probably 95% of the squad now, this will be the first thing they've ever won. So it's challenging them to get to that, to have that winner's mentality. And it's hard to get a winner's mentality when you haven't won anything. And this is why, for me, it was so important for this season to win something. So these players can start drawing on past experiences in a season or two's time to know what it's like to win, and also know what it's like not to win, and want that taste for more glory and celebrations. And it's important that you sort of know what you're missing when you don't get it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the only shame is that you couldn't celebrate on the last game of the season, though you gone up, and there was the wait, wasn't there? But
yeah,
but that is what it is, isn't it? I suppose. So I was looking at the table. I was looking at the Division 3 table last night, and there's some decent teams in there. So next season is, like I said a minute ago, next season is going to be a more challenging this season than this season has been. And I suppose it leads on to the obvious question of will you have a break, and when will you be starting up again for your pre-season?
So, yes, we're definitely having a break, and actually, the break starts in a couple of hours' time, because we booked a trip to Portugal. So nearly everybody, there's a couple what isn't making it, but nearly everybody in the club, we're all going to Portugal. Some's flying out tonight. We're flying out tomorrow morning. Some Saturday morning. So we're going to have a good old break and a celebration together. So you're right. It's a pity we didn't know at the end of the game to celebrate together, but most of us will be together now over the weekend in a nice warm climate with a few beers and celebrate properly. But yeah, we will have a break. It's a bit different this year, and we're going to report back for pre-season a little bit later than we normally do, because the season's overran with the bad weather. So we're looking at sort of mid-June, probably the 17th, 18th of June will be sort of reporting back for pre-season. Pre-season plans is 90% already in place with friendlies. There's few tournaments. We will be entering in a mixture of some games at our level, some games way above our level to challenge players.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all in hand. So yeah, nice little 4 or 5 week break, and then it'll be back at it. And I've already, as managers probably do, challenged the players immediately. Look, we'll enjoy this now the next couple of weeks, but then focus has to be, we have to go on and repeat it again next year and try and go one better and actually be title winners next year. So is always that thing, you always want more, don't you? So yeah, it's going to be it'd be a good time. Nice to sort of give a bit of time off to everybody. So I said they have worked incredibly hard in a hell of a lot of games.
They have, and without trying to sort of blow smoke up your ass, but you've worked incredibly hard this season as well, and I've seen firsthand what you do for the club and the amount of time you put in, not just from a managing point of view, but from all the social media side of stuff and things like that. So I can imagine that you're probably quite looking forward to a break where you're not sat editing videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's funny because as a club owner, along with sort of Sam and Dan as well, you're right. We do get a break because they're players as well, so they get a break as much as I get a break from editing games in YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But as club owners, all three of us, we're already talking about, we have obviously end of season awards party, which is organised and pretty much done for June.
Yeah.
We always have a big summer event, charity event. So that's in the planning as we speak. We're introducing a reserve side next year, which we're 85% sorted. So as players and managers, yeah, we get a break as club owners. It's probably the busiest time of the year now in the close season because you're planning and implementing the next 12 months worth of sort of jobs and projects. So we never really switch off. But yeah, there is certainly a break from the football side of it, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, fair play, mate. Yeah. I think it's worth mentioning these people because we haven't actually mentioned these people. I don't think you mentioned them at all on the podcast. But you sort of touched on it last night on the tweet you put out, and the people that go and watch you every week, and I'm talking mainly about the girls that go and watch you every week, the wives and girlfriends and family members, who, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do for the next few weeks without having people to shout out on a Saturday afternoon.
No, that's right. And yeah, we've built up a bit of a core following, and I'm ever so grateful, and I know the players are, and me, Sam, and Dan, we're all grateful because we have got a following, and they're great people, and there's more and more people coming to watch us sort of all the time. And yeah, I've already heard one or two remarks from like, what are we going to do now? And it's like, well, calm down. It's only 6 weeks, and then we're going to be back in playing pre-season friendlies. So, but yeah, it's
I think they might have to shout at the television while England are playing during the Euros, mate. I think that might be the answer.
Well, it'll give me sort of from earache because I think if you ask them, and they're sort of, oh, he's the manager, he's always sometimes getting his hair off and shouting and he's loud. They don't realise how loud they are 20 foot away from me. And I know you've experienced it firsthand. So it's
yeah, but it is good. It's good. I mean, it's great support they give the team and everything, and they go and watch in all weathers, wind, rain, and maybe some sunshine at some point. You never know. But fair play to them. I think they deserve a shout out on here as well. So
absolutely, and we love it, and on behalf of myself and Sam and Dan, we thank them because they have been in some conditions this year cheering us on, and they don't miss. So thank you from everybody in the club. I'd name them, but I sure to forget one or two out. And the last time I forgot somebody's name, I got an earache from one of them. So she'll know who she is. She gave me a right bloody verbal volley of because I forgot her name.
Right. And you mentioned it a minute ago as well. Next season, there's going to be a reserve team playing, I believe I'm right in saying, playing in the Bristol and Suburban League Division 4.
Yeah.
Now, John Carpenter is going to be the manager, assisted by Scott Norton Ashley.
That's
I
correct.
met John last week up at Mangotsfield, in the last game of the season, and he's looking at putting plans into place soon. So that's another good sort of step for the club going in the right direction, isn't it?
It is, and it's an addition, well, additions with Scott and John. It's two great additions for the club because they were both with us previously as players and sort of tidy, experienced players, what you'd expect. And I know they sort of moved on and sort of started their management career elsewhere. And when the sort of opportunity came to bring them back, I mean, we jumped at the chance. They did well in their sort of debut season with their clubs. And I'm really excited, and me, Sam, and Dan, I said we're really excited of what the future holds because we don't want. It's not just a reserve side to give players a run out or a run out. We want the reserve side to be successful, which are then in turn is going to really drive the first team. So it's too much pressure to be on the reserves as it is the first team to do well, and I'm really excited about it, and I think we're in good hands with John and Scott going forward with that.
Yeah, I agree, and again, it's another sort of like I said, it is a step in the right direction for the club as a whole. So it'd be good, and it'd be exciting to see what happens next season there. And their home pitch, just to confirm, their home pitch will be up at Imperial as well, won't it?
We're not 100% sorted on that yet, so there's a chance that it's a good chance that it's going to be Imperial, but we're just trying to iron one or two things out. But if it's not Imperial, it'll be somewhere sort of very local, so that we keep the club. It is one club. We don't want two teams being like two separate clubs. We want it all under the sort of same roof and stuff like that. So we can't announce where exactly we're going to be playing, but it's a good chance it's Imperial, or it could be somewhere very, very local.
I was being very presumptuous then that it would be
Well, we're trying because it's in everybody's interest to keep it all under in one sort of vicinity and stuff. So
and
we're just.
Sorry, John. The last game of the season just finished was up at Mangotsfield, which was played up at Cosham Street, which was nice, and must have been nice for the lads to sort of play on a semi-pro pitch. I say a semi-pro pitch. I know the pitch up there isn't the best at the moment, is it? But
no, we played on worse. But yeah, I think it was a fitting sort of venue for the final game of the season, and the game fitting of a finale of the season because we know it's going to be a tough game ourselves. We go 1-0 up, 2-0 up with like both goals from Tom Blake, our top scorer, and looking comfortable. And then it, in typical football fashion, goes 2-1. Then we come out dominating, and you think it's just a matter of time now before we go 3-1, 4-1. But the footballing gods, we're back to 2-2 from a penalty, and you think, my God, we know we got to win to have a chance. But then Josh Gilborson scored, well, what turns out to be our promotion-winning goal to take us up, and deservedly so. That they get the acclaim, Tom and Josh, this year, because it's nearly 50 goals between them, which is an incredible stat for our front two. And like I said, it's a shame we couldn't celebrate immediately after the game because we just have to wait to see what else is happening. But we'll make up for that this weekend. But a great final game to end the season, and I haven't even had a chance to watch it back yet, but I will do at some point and chill out and enjoy it as opposed to being a bag of nerves on the sideline.
Yeah, well, when you're over in Portugal, just find a bar with a big screen, put it on the big screen for everybody to watch.
Absolutely, yeah. Pick up a few Portuguese fans when we're over there.
That's it, mate. And then at the end, pretend you didn't know what the result is, and you can all celebrate at the end, then, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, I mean, it's been a great season, and I'm looking forward already to the sort of pre-season fixture starting. And I mean, we said about the girls, but I don't know what I'm going to do for the next 6 weeks either without any football to watch on a Saturday. But a bit of family time and a holiday and everything would be nice.
Yeah. Well, we got the Euros as well to watch. I know it's not the same as being involved in football, but at least there's something going on in the summer.
Well, that's right, mate. And I mean, it doesn't really stop to a certain extent, because next week is the FA Cup final and the playoffs and all that sort of stuff. Then the week after, it's the Champions League final. Then we've got a couple of England friendlies. Then there's the Euros. And before we know it, we'll be back in training would have started and pre-season friendlies would have started. So
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good.
we love it. We love it, really, don't we?
Well, we do, and I think it's one of those things you don't really realise how much you love it and need it until you haven't got it.
Yeah.
Like this week, obviously there's been no football this week for me to go and watch, and I usually go to, as you know, I usually go to a game on a Tuesday and a Saturday. So this week, it's the first week for a long time that I haven't been out midweek watching a game, and I do miss it, but I also know it'll be back very soon. So it's not the end of the world. John, before we finish and sort of wrap up for the season, do you want to give a message to supporters and everything? Just
Yeah,
wrap
I
up
want to
little
give a
bit.
message out to a few people. I mean, first of all, James, as well, to thank you, because you do a lot of work for us as a club and help us and you're a big supporter of the club. So, on behalf of all of us, a thank you to yourself, because it is very much appreciated.
Cheers, mate. And I enjoy doing it. So
A thank you to all the fans who watches us. I know we're not in 60,000 fans, but we have got a few fans who turn up game after game after game. We're really, really grateful to fans, to family behind the scenes, because not everybody gets to the games, but they're still a big supporter of the club and allow us to do things. And so it's all noted and appreciated, and in particularly people like Sophie, Cassie, Joe, my wife. They're huge supporters of us, and it allows me, Sam, and Dan to commandeer living rooms, kitchens for meetings, and bars, and obviously time. So we're ever grateful for those three important people. And last but not least, thank you to the players. We're an amateur football team. We have a professionally run sort of attitude towards it, but we are an amateur football team. So I'm not the boss of these players. We're not on £100,000 a week where I can find them and stick them in the reserves and stuff like that. They're free to come and go as they please. But a huge thank you to the players, because without the players, we wouldn't be anything as a club. And I love every one of them, and they've been fantastic this year. Their attitudes are superb. I'm close with them. Sometimes I could be their worst enemies if I'm moaning and having a rant, but they take it all on the chin and listen and try to learn. And I can't say any more than that I love them, and appreciate all what they've given me this year. And here's to many more years all together and achieving a lot of success.
indeed. I think that's a perfect way to sort of end the episode. I also just want to say thank you as well to you. I mean, like you said, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do the podcast if I didn't enjoy it. I absolutely love doing them. So hopefully we can carry on doing them next season, and I'll keep supporting the club and promoting the club as much as I can. So thank you to yourself and Stan, Dan, and all the boys as well, because without them, there wouldn't be a football club, and I wouldn't be able to go along on a Saturday afternoon and watch and support. And yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next season. I'm looking forward to it already. So have a fantastic time in Portugal. And as a non-drinker, I can't promote alcohol, but have a great time, and I'm sure a few beers will be drunk. So, and we'll be back. What are we saying, John? We're going to come back for pre-season and do like a little pre-season special.
I think so. Yeah,
That'd be
absolutely.
good, right? Yeah, happy days, mate. Well, thanks again. Enjoy the summer, and we'll speak to you soon, John.